Hello, beautiful people, and welcome back to the Real Convo podcast. On episode 2, we have a very special guest, Angelina Nixon, ladies and gentlemen. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm good. Had a really good season actually, so I'm a bit buzzing. Obviously got a game tomorrow, so I'm buzzing for that.
Who are you playing against?
Plymouth in MK Stadium, so it'll be a good one. Hopefully we can get a lot of fans there.
Yeah, and you play for MK Dons, don't you?
Yeah.
Tell the people, how did you end up there?
So obviously playing for Birmingham Academy, that's how I know Lauren.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they scouted me from there, and they actually watched me on Ultimate Goal, which we both were on.
Nice.
And they wanted me to come down because they thought I was really good in that. So they offered me to come down as a dual registration. But I decided just to go to MK and then play for them full time. And yeah, it's the best decision of my life.
Oh, I love that. So, how are you finding, obviously, we met through Birmingham City Academy. How are you finding the transition into first team football? What are the big differences that you've kind of noticed?
I think it's a lot more serious and a lot more passion within the managers. Like, the team actually wants to win rather than individual performances, like trying to do the whole thing themselves. We're more of like a team and you feel more of like a family. Definitely strength-wise as well. It's a lot more, it's more of a competition because obviously I was getting older now. It's like 19, 20 and playing with 16-year-olds got a bit too, it weren't so much competition. Yeah. But yeah, the strength is a lot better in Tier 3 football.
Love that. So when you get to first team football, it's very much results kind of based, isn't it? It's very much literally, guys, we have to win these games. Yeah. When you're in academy, it's very much like, who's going up to first team training this week? Who's going where, here, there and everywhere? You don't feel maybe as connected to the pathway as maybe you should sometimes. You get lost in that kind of, what's my next step? But when you're in a first team, I guess you all have that kind of same goal of, right, we need to win these games. Here's where we can pick up points. Let's set a plan to do that. Would you say? Yeah, nice.
And obviously the speed of the game as well. I think it was just slow academy. And going up from academy to first team is such a big difference. I think you need to make that step of, grading up rather than just going academy to first team. It needs to be that step in between. And I think Tier 3 or even Championship football is definitely the way to go, I think.
What's your ultimate goal? Why did Ange start playing football? What do you want to achieve in the game?
I've just always loved it, and I don't love many things. So knowing I love something, I've got an obsessive personality. So I just put everything into it, and I love the contact of the game, and just it's a feeling you don't get. It's like an animal feeling, just want to smash players.
That would very much describe how you play, and I'm sure anybody who's played against you would say the same. But honestly, I think as somebody who's played with you, you're definitely top 3 players that you'll never forget playing with for all the right reasons. I can assure you that any team is lucky to have you, for sure.
And then I want to go far, and I truly believe I can get there with hard work, and obviously injuries and things will stop you on the way. But I believe that I can get to a very high level, and Real Madrid's my dream team.
Real Madrid?
Yeah.
Has that been since you were small?
Yeah.
Real Madrid, they've recently formed their women's team, haven't they? That would be amazing.
That would be really good.
That would be sick. So when you started your season at MK, I'm presuming that you were there for pre-season and...
Yeah.
Did you have any goals that you wanted to hit that season? Did you have anything in mind coming into your first proper season of women's football?
Yeah, so I wanted to hit 20 goals. And obviously I like assists as well. I always go for the assist. I'm not a natural fox in the box. I do go for that assist, and I'm creative. But I have got 12 goals and I think 18 assists now.
Wow.
So about 30 goals and assists this season.
30 goal involvements in our first season, by the way.
Obviously there's more goals to come with Plymouth this Sunday. Definitely be scoring tomorrow.
Mate, you see now, this is female empowerment at its finest. That's so good. That is great to hear. What position are you playing now? Are you still in that kind of creative role? Do you have free roam?
So I'm a bit I'm very adjustable. So my manager thinks I'm so good in different positions, a left wing, centre attacker, mid striker. So I get swapped quite a lot, which is hard because I'm I should be in this position.
Yeah.
But I'm just a really attacking player. But obviously, love a slide tackle in there. So.
Come on, a slide tackle from left wing, That is hilarious. What do you get do you feel comfortable in them positions though? Like, can you just be chopped and changed and still have the same impact on the game?
Yeah, so with centre attacking mid, I like it because I slip the ball in. Like, I'm really good at finding that pass, being creative. But left wing, I love like the freedom of taking 1v1s because I really like 1v1s, and that's where I can show my best. But then I get a bit bored on the left because I don't get the ball as much. So I'm a bit like, I'd rather be more involved in centre attacking mid than striker. We've got like a main striker, so I'm like the second striker if she's not there. So
right. Well, it's good to have that flexibility as well. Like, have that versatility. Come on, it doesn't surprise. Like, so when obviously you are playing in these different positions, but you have your favoured kind of middle, kind of free reign, kind of tennis role.
Yeah.
Is there anybody that you base your game off, or has there ever been somebody that even growing up you've always been like, that's who I want to play like?
I'm a big Ronaldo fan.
Oh, okay.
I'm a big Ronaldo fan, and I like maverick players, like special players, and I feel like I'm like that. Like, my manager says I'm really frustrating to watch, but then I'll just come out with something crazy and they love it. But yeah, I think it's with managers. I think they're quite they're hard to understand me. So once they know how I play, I think that's when they can like work me in the best I am. But yeah, I'd say Ronaldo just because I'm not like Ronaldo, but I'd try and be like Ronaldo. Like, do
you appreciate his work rate both on and off the pitch, his dedication to the game, kind of thing? Yeah,
and
that
crazy,
makes so much sense.
Crazy skills he does. Like, I try and do something crazy.
Bringing out the step overs, breaking ankles, big numbers. Oh, you wear the Seven shirt as well, didn't you?
Yeah.
It's written in the stars. See, that's cold. So, playing at MK Don Stadium, how's that been?
Yeah, I think the first time I walked out the tunnel and all the fans, I think there was 1,200. I was just like, I felt like I made it, but I had obviously haven't made it yet. But that was when I was like, all this hard work I've put into as like a kid and trying and no matter what. And I was like, this is why I put all this hard work.
But that is like, when you get that fulfillment, especially in a sport like football, where it's such a team-based kind of sport, it's good to have them individual kind of nice moments to yourself, which I think a lot of people forget to have. Obviously, when you're coming up through the ranks, a lot of people tend to kind of get too immersed in the team game side of things. As bad as that sounds, when you're coming up through academy football, a lot of it, I would say 70% of it, you really need to just kind of look at yourself as an individual and see where you can improve. Because at the end of the day, that whole squad of players, you're not going to be with them. Like, it would be crazy if it happened, and it might have already happened, so please excuse me if this applies to you. But you're probably not going to be with the same group of players your whole playing career.
Especially academy players.
Exactly.
Everyone goes off, don't they?
Yeah, everybody has their own paths. You get people go off to America, you get people obviously go to tier 3, tier 4, and there's no right way of doing things, but obviously we all get caught up in that kind of, should I have gone there? What if I'd made that decision? So it's nice that you've had that moment when you walked out into that stadium, because it's a big stadium.
Very nice.
That country is a prestigious, it's a big stadium in this country. It gets used for big events. England have played there a few times, right?
They played there.
And you're playing there every home game.
Yeah.
See, it's great to have them moments.
Yeah, that's what persuaded me to go to MK, really. I was like, yep, the stadium on there.
As it should. Definitely. So what... As like an athlete, obviously transitioning from the academy to the first team, do you feel more support in certain areas, or do you think there could be things that could be done better, like as an athlete, as like individual development?
As in like the academy or MK?
You can compare.
I don't know. I think relationships with a player is a big thing, and in the academy, it weren't really like that. Like I think you need to have that connection where you can be funny and then be serious at the same time. And if you don't feel like you can open up to your manager, then that's not right, because I think you have to have that connection of wanting to win, obviously for yourself, for your managers, and then you just want to feel like a family, and I think that's a big thing. With fitness, and I think with me, I'm always like, am I doing enough? So with someone just to secure me to say I'm doing the right thing, putting the programs out there, especially eating, I think with the academy they didn't really give you any nutrition plans. I think that could have been a big thing.
And that would vary from person to person as well. Obviously there's just rough information, but for one person that might be amazing, and for another that could slow you down. That could be a difference if you lasted 90 minutes or 70 minutes, right?
You should do it individually, and even like weighing you to see what you should be eating. I think that could have been better because I was expecting that and we didn't get that. And more time like actually in the gym. I know Birmingham, it was just a bit like...
we didn't do a lot of gym stuff, like, let's be real. Like, we didn't do a lot of gym stuff, and that could be the same with different academies too. Obviously, we know the first team, they had access to, I believe there was like a gym where the Astro pitch was, like a little, where they could use the weights. But it's so important in injury prevention, and there was a lot of injuries in the academy season, because obviously age 16 to 21, you're still kind of growing as well, so you're going to have all sorts going on. So yeah, but with MK, has there been a lot more kind of care about that, or have you noticed?
MK is like, it's really good because we got like a session, one analyse session a week, and then 2 training sessions, which is like Tuesday night at 8 o'clock, which is quite late, till 10, and then Thursday. But I definitely want to be training more. Definitely want to be like I want to live and breathe football, and it's not fulfilling me enough. The fact that I'm not training as much as I want to. So obviously, I'm doing I'm like training like a pro because I'll be playing football every day. But I'd rather be doing it with a team. So all together. But I think with like gym and stuff like that, we don't get any gym access. You're kind of just left to do what you want to do gym wise.
Do you get programs? Or
we get programs from an SEC coach, but so just I think it'd be good if there was like they were doing it with us, so they know we're doing the right thing and like that. But you can't really expect that from not a pro club.
100%.
But there's like 4 teams in our league that are pro, like Watford, they're all pro, and then there's like other teams that aren't, and then you're playing against these teams and you're thinking, well, you've got access all week. Your like goal all week is just how do we beat these players? How can we do anything to beat them? And we're in twice a week, and it's just a bit like.
There's still that difference, isn't there? Yeah, I can completely understand that, and that's why I think the importance of coaches comes into play massively, because obviously they're going to be aware of like the facilities difference, the lack of training, and it's it's nobody's fault in aspects of things, because the realities of the women's game is there is still clubs that are a bit behind, but it is gradually moving forward. Like, how long have MK been playing in the stadium for example?
I think they've actually been playing there for about 5 years now.
5 years? Oh, well, fair enough. Do you know what I mean? But there's a lot of teams, say, for example, Watford women, they aren't playing at Vicarage Road every week, but maybe a few years down the line, they could be. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah, I think going back to the importance of coaches, if the coaches can really feed that passion into the players, they can really feed that drive, set goals weekly, monthly, long term, that's what keeps the players going, because it feels like, okay, we're a group here, we all want the same thing, okay, we're training twice a week, got a game twice a week, but what can I be doing to help the team further? But when you're in obviously an environment where that's not really, you don't feel like a family, and you've got different people putting different amounts of effort in, sometimes it can be a bit dejecting.
Definitely. If you're working really hard and someone's not, and you're just thinking like we're supposed to be on the same level, but like on the same path of trying to win, and it gets annoying, but you just kind of have to like bite your lip on them, because the whole team's not going to have that motivation, but then there will be like the majority of the team who've got that love, and you just kind of have to
and it's completely normal, because like again, like there is obviously tier 3 is a great standard, but obviously it's not fully pro, so you are going to have different kind of attitudes, but who's to say which is right? Obviously, if you're really trying to make it, it can be frustrating if you've got people that maybe aren't putting in the same work as you, but the reality of the situation of like, it's not a pro, I've got work, some of these women are literally working 7 days a week on top of their football commitments, you are going to have that difference, and I think that's something that's not been spoken about enough. When you've got these women putting so much effort in, the performances are just getting better and better, and they've got a whole other life that they're living, do you know what I mean? And then football's just kind of maybe a hobby for some, but it's commendable, the amount of effort that the vast majority do put in, I would say.
I think, I don't actually like work, so I want to put all my time into football. But I've got so much respect for people who literally work all day, then train at night. Like they've got no time where they can just, it's literally like they're trying to do two things, and they're obviously succeeding with that. And I think it's amazing.
Mm-hmm. As a young player as well, it's really good to have kind of, obviously, when you hit your 20s, 21, you do kind of feel, right, I can kind of pull the reins a bit more. Like, I can make my decisions. But when you do have senior players there to really push the team and guide you through, like, it can make a massive difference. And it's inspiring when, you know, some women have children, some women obviously are working full time, and when you've got that different kind of mix of people and you can all come together and like achieve something, it's so rewarding.
Yeah, like so many people on my team live complete different lifestyles. It's crazy. But we're all trying to get the same thing, and yeah, it's good.
That is a big difference with like the academy football. I feel like since stepping out of it, it feels like I've stepped out of a bubble. Like, I never saw the greater world around me. And this is just being completely honest. This is no hate to any academies that I've been in. Because really and truly, like, the most recent one I was at was Birmingham. But I moved away from home at that point. And that gave me a really, like, good kind of chance to grow as a person. Because I was literally not on my ones, kind of on my ones. I pretty much was. And I was just living. Like, you moved away as well, didn't you, from home? So it's good to kind of have you like hold yourself accountable, because obviously I was having to work a little bit just to, you know, keep the money flowing, because we don't get paid like the boys in academy but we do get a lot of kit though, so you know, and we do get to use good facilities. Like, we managed to get to the cup final, didn't we? That was a moment. Let's talk about it. So little Birmingham, we got to the WSL Academy Cup final to play against Man United at St George's Park.
Wembley replica, so it's literally
let's talk about the pitch, please. When they said Wembley replica, they meant Wembley replica. Why? Oh my gosh! Why was it taking me half an hour to run across the pitch? Why was it taking me half an hour to run across the pitch? I think that game is available somewhere to watch on YouTube. I don't know. I've not actually tried to find it since, but
it is.
Yeah, we lost.
It was a big
was it 4-1?
4-1.
Yeah, but we actually could have won that game. We actually could have won that game. Like, just deep it.
So well.
Didn't
we? Got, like, 3-4 shots in. Oh! Just dropped. I was thinking, what's happened? Before we're winning this, and the fans and the atmosphere, and
just incredible.
Everything, like eating before and going through change rooms. That was a very, very good moment.
Yeah, like, you know, so there is good opportunities in the game, and I think it is only going to get better. Like, I think, have you noticed since the Lionesses won the Euros, like, how much change there's been, obviously, in the higher tiers of the football? Like, it's crazy. Like, Wembley selling out, Wembley, Brazil, England, Brazil, sorry. Wembley, Brazil. Let me try that again. England versus Brazil, the finalissima. Did you watch that game?
No, I didn't. I think I was training. So
it's a Thursday night.
People went and watched it, and I thought, I've got to be selfish. Like, I've got to put me in before. But obviously, I love watching England. I went and watched them when they were at MK Stadium.
Nice.
And that was a very good game to watch. We were at the goal and seeing them score a penalty. I think it was 4-1, wasn't it?
Oh, were you behind the goal?
Yeah.
Nice. Good angle. Really random and it's a bit off topic, but when you're buying tickets for games, where do you like to be in the stadium?
I don't really go to many games. To be fair, that was like one game. I think that was the first game I've ever been to in a stadium.
No way.
Yeah, as like
That's
watching.
Mental.
As watching, I don't really go and watch. So probably behind the goal.
Well, the one time you've been, maybe, yeah. Fair enough. You? Do you know what? Yeah, I do like to be close to the pitch. So I am that one that when tickets are released, I'm there. I'm there. Like I'm. But that's just me with any form of ticket ever. Like, that is a toxic trait of mine that maybe I need to reflect on. But yeah, I do like to be close to the pitch, and I don't know whether it is because of my content now. If you're closer to the pitch, maybe get like good action moments.
Yeah. I feel like you're more there as well.
Yeah.
But then we went in MK. Actually, I do watch games, but like I can't remember them. We went in the box yesterday at MK. Nice. Our sponsor paid for the box and stuff, and we were quite high, and that was really nice because obviously if you're close, it's a good view. But then if you're up, like it's like a bird's view.
You can see everything.
It is really cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, box was really nice. I'd like to go into like Arsenal box. I heard they're really good.
I've actually been to an Arsenal box.
Have you?
I have. Really random way of winning it. We won it on just like a Facebook raffle. Oh my god, I just moved the whole table. Yeah, we won it on a Facebook raffle. So me and my brother went, because he's an Arsenal fan. We went to watch Arsenal Brighton a few years ago now, and Arsenal actually lost 2-1. But do you know what I found with the boxes at a Premier League game? You don't get the atmosphere. And I don't know if it is because I went to... Obviously, it's going to be different if it was like Arsenal Tottenham, for example. But I'm sat in the box yet, and then I'm seeing these proper out-and-out fans below me and above me giving it all that, and I'm just sat in a box with my legs crossed like this with a flipping cup. Do you know what I mean? So it depends what you want out of a game, but I'm not going to lie, like, I go to West Ham, like, I'm a Chelsea fan, but mind your business if you see me at a West Ham game in the home end, okay? Just mind your business, it's nothing to do with you. But I just love getting amongst the proper atmosphere. Okay, you might hear a lot of sensory words. I keep headbutting this mic. Sensory word, like, you might hear a lot of explicit language, but I just love the football, going to it live. Definitely, I would recommend going. Arsenal women are playing a lot of the Emirates at the moment. But yeah, a hardcore game, definitely. The Emirates is a great stadium to go to. I'll hold my hands up.
No, but I get what you mean. Like, yesterday I felt like, I was sitting there like really posh, and I was thinking, looking at them, I think they played against Portsmouth, looking at the Portsmouth fan, they were going for it, and I was just like,
what would you rather? Like, obviously there's some people who would prefer that kind of relaxed atmosphere, you know?
Yeah.
But personally, I am getting amongst it. Alright?
Going for it.
Do you know what I mean? I am there getting so... Obviously, pints aren't allowed into games anymore.
Oh, they're not?
Nah, only soft drinks. But that's a good thing, trust me. It's definitely a better thing.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Surely the fans kicked off without that.
Some definitely did, but like they make you drink the pints like in, or whatever you're getting, inside the kind of where the bar area is, and then you're not allowed them out. I think it is a good idea, because to be honest, when your team scores, they do just... Do you know what I mean? And at the end of the day, like, why have you just paid all that money to just stash it?
Yeah.
But yeah, no. Who do you support? Do you support Arsenal?
Sounds really bad. I don't support a team.
But we can still work with this. So, have you been keeping tabs with... We're gonna talk about football here. So we're gonna start with the Premier League. Yeah. Have you been just keeping tabs on it?
Yeah, because my brother's an Arsenal fan. So
okay, right. Like, this is a good...
die-hard Arsenal
fans.
Oh,
are they? Like,
yeah.
Okay. Who do you think is really and truly going to win the league this year?
I'd say Man City.
You think City are going to do Arsenal at the end? Yeah. Deep. No, I'm not going to lie. As a Chelsea fan, yeah, my opinion basically is neutral, because we're in a neutral place in the table, so take that as what you will. We're literally nowhere to be seen. So as a neutral, I think Arsenal are going to win. Really? I think they're going to do... There's been too many moments, yeah, like the Bournemouth game just resonated with me. At that point, I was like, yes. To come back... I think they were 3-1 down, if I rightly remember. And then they scored the equaliser in literally the last minute of the game. That's when I was like, yeah, this team's got ball. You know the Leicester season where the stars just aligned for them? I can feel that with Arsenal this year. I can feel it, yeah. Same, with the WSL. Have you been keeping tabs on that? This girl is actually literally just focused on her grind. Do you know what? I respect it. I do respect it.
My view is like, why would I be watching if I could be playing? But I do need to get better at watching football, because then obviously you learn from that as well.
You definitely can, but the player you are, literally, you would probably just have to watch Lauren James, to be honest.
Yeah,
because I am a Lauren James stan, and I will stand by that. And the fact that she is the best women's player in the world, in my opinion, in my humble opinion. Don't get triggered, Kira Walsh fans, Alexia Putellas fans. I'm sorry. I might be biased because I'm a Chelsea fan, but this girl is different gravy.
Next level.
Honestly, it's ridiculous.
The things she comes out with, and the strength and the power.
How does she move with the ball like that as well? Like, it confuses me. Like, she's just gliding past people that they're not even there. Like, she's got a different connection with the ball that nobody else has. Even in the men's game, I've not seen it. I've not seen anybody like this girl, so yeah, I really think she's going to be a huge player. We're just lucky that she's wearing that England shirt. Let's have a look how old Lauren James is. I don't think she's that old. She might even be our age.
21.
Honestly, and if she is, that's even scarier. She's 21.
21.
And she's doing that already. It is mental.
Chelsea don't play like loads and loads, does she? Like she's is she a sub or
No, not now. So she came from Man United and they basically just had her in a camp pretty much by what I could see. And oh my god, I'm gonna keep beating up this mic. Don't sue me, please. It's fine. They weren't. I don't think she was making the squads a lot, but they were literally just like hibernating her. And then for this season, she's been playing, and obviously Chelsea have been doing pretty well. I think WSL. I am a Chelsea fan, so I'm going to be biased, but I do see Chelsea women winning the WSL this year.
Yeah.
It is going to be close though, because you've got United up there and Arsenal up there. I don't think City. Oh, obviously, they've got Bunny Shaw, who's been absolutely firing on all cylinders. It is gonna be close. It might go down to the last game of the season. Will you watch that?
I will watch that.
You definitely should.
Chelsea, how many times have they won WSL in a row now? They won it last year, didn't they? A lot.
I'm gonna have to fact check this. WSL.
Ages,
Honestly, yeah, but it's definitely getting closer now. Like I went to watch Arsenal play Bayern in the Champions League. And the standard was crazy. Like, honestly, my jaw was on the floor at times. I was literally just like, wow. Like, it's come on so much. And obviously, Bayern, Georgia Stanway plays for them. And watching live compared to watching television football is mental. Like, Georgia Stanway's passing... flabbergasted. Honestly, she was just like, you know when you fizz it with chest with laces, she was just doing that for free.
Really?
Honestly, I was just like, wow, like football nerd, like getting excited about passing. Mind your business again. But the standard live now and the standard of the women's game is just crazy, and it's commendable. Like the amount of work these like women are putting in, you can see it. You can really see it.
With that pass, I remember playing against Gemma Davidson. And she,
Lord have mercy.
was against Watford, and she was just pinging balls left, right, and centre.
Mm-hmm.
Like the skill she's got, even though like she's older now, she's still got that talent. And you're just like
sharp with it, isn't she? She's so.
There was moments where I was like, I'm getting back, I'm tackling her.
You didn't slide her, did you? Did you slide her? No, you didn't. Oh no, I'm done.
She's probably the best player I've played with, definitely.
Okay, played with or against? Played against.
With and against, I'd say.
Oh, you played with her?
No, it's in like play against like people I've played with.
Oh, shared the pitch with, effectively.
Yeah.
Fair enough. To be honest, I don't know. Oh, now I've got to rack my brains. Gemma's definitely up there. Oh my gosh. I remember when I was at Charlton on 16s, we got absolutely torn a new one by Chelsea and Southampton at the time. And now a lot of them players are playing for the England youth teams. Which is sick to see. Like, you know, when you play against people and you're like, you do actually see them get through. It does make you think, actually, the pathway is there.
Yeah.
It's just all about timing. Definitely work rate, because you can make your own luck. And obviously talent. Sometimes it's who you know. Like, you do hear that. But I do think once you get into that academy league, you really can like make a bit of a name for yourself. If you do stand out. Like, I'm sure a lot of teams would remember you, for example. Like, maybe for different reasons. But that's the point. Like, that's what you... Like, MK Dons saw you from there. They saw you on Ultimate Goal as well. Because was there scouts at the end of the game?
He was actually one of the scouts.
And they remembered you. And how long... That was the first season when we were wearing the collared kit. So that would have been a year between you signing for them and not. So there definitely is ways through.
Yeah, but I remember being in like under 13s or under 14s England, just doing some camps and seeing like, I think her name's like Ruby or something. Seeing her like in the under-23s now, I'm like, wow, you've stuck it like that
Ruby Mace.
Not Ruby Mace. I did play her. She's class.
She is.
She's class.
Sorry. Yeah.
She's one of them players.
Unbelievable.
Like in my mind, like Gemma Davidson, I'd be like, I'm gonna make sure I tackle her. She'll just be doing flicks and tricks. I'm like, I'm getting that ball.
So good, so good. I did Arsenal trials with her once, and I remember thinking, wow.
It's like she didn't even try though. She's so humble.
Effortless.
And it just does some like crazy.
Some Rabona 365 Elastico. But yeah, no, it is. It's good to see people getting through, because she came to Birmingham for a bit as well, didn't she?
Mm.
So yeah, no, it's crazy how small the footballing world really is when you look at it. Like, a lot of people literally just know people, like even people that from your team 10 years ago just through mutuals. It's such a small world.
I'd say Ruby, like I think she was 16 when she come in, and I'd say she's better than any player in the first team.
For
she
real?
come in, I think she was better than all of them.
It's that fearlessness, isn't it? Because when you're in such like a tactically driven team, you get so caught up in the tactics that you forget, actually, I can express myself a bit. And I think younger players kind of still have that raw. So I'm just trying to find the World Cup groups. Helps if I put that in. But yeah, I think younger players going up just have that raw, like Saka, for example, at Arsenal. There's still that rawness. Eddie and Kay at Arsenal, there's still that rawness in their play where they will take them extra risks. And more time, it does pay off. Like, it does pay off. Like, when Jesus got injured and Eddie had to step up, I'm not even an Arsenal fan here, look at my ball knowledge, and Eddie had to step up. He stepped up with chest and took that role on in his own way, but successfully still. And that just proves that, okay, obviously at that level they're going to have systems, but it doesn't mean you have to be a certain type of player.
Carla Ward actually said to me, because she's obviously the Villa manager now, at Birmingham, she was like, I said, what can I improve? And she was like, you're very raw. She was like, you're a maverick, like a wild horse. And it was like, she was like, no, I love that, but we just need to tame you down a bit. And then obviously getting injured and her moving, didn't actually get that chance. But yeah, I love how I'm still raw, and I'd never want that to leave me. And managers say like, do this, but don't ever like lose what you've got.
Yeah.
It's just like keeping it in your locker and then do it when you can. Don't do it all the time.
Exactly, and that is what football should be about. You shouldn't feel like you're on to somewhat. Obviously, if you've got a game plan, you need to stick to the tactics, but you shouldn't feel like you're on strings all the time. Like, I remember I had a training session. I'm not going to say where, who, what, or how. I had a training session the other day, and there was a Brazilian player there. So, and she was a typical Brazilian player. Skills, just trying to express herself, and the coach drew her out in front of all of us and was like, you need to stick to 1 and 2 touches. And I just felt, I actually went and spoke to her after, because I was like, big coach, I'm like, what type of coach used to tell somebody like, okay, in certain situations, 1 touch, 2 touch, cool, but she's a winger. So what, you want her to take 1 touch and get to the byline? Do you know what I mean? So there is do you know what? It just goes back to how important coaches are in footballing journeys. Because literally 1 coach can just change everything.
That's scary.
Do you know how crazy that is? 1 coach can literally make or break you in your career, and it might not even be your fault that it's happened. But
yeah, like talking about, I'm just gonna bring this up with like with politics and people getting favouritism and not knowing and all that kind of stuff. It's very hard of like going through and thinking, is there something dodgy in this team? It's something that, I don't know, I don't think it gets brought up enough, but
no,
I can't really explain.
But this is the podcast to do it, because it's called Real Convo, but we're not drawing anybody out, we're just literally telling our truths. And I think that's important, because I know that there's a lot of topics that don't get spoken about that could be related to, and when I was going through the academy system, for example, I could have really done with like people just normalising maybe the kind of difficult side of academy football, where a lot of players in the academy teams have been there since they were maybe small. They've built proper solid relationships with the coaches, but at what point do you then, when you're welcoming other players in, why should they be treated majorly different? And why should you look at players who you've maybe been coaching and you've basically moulded into your ideal, but if somebody comes in who is better, why does the moulded player get why does the moulded player get favoured? Because what message does that send out? Do you know what I mean? Like, what does it send out? And I do think sometimes with coaches, like, you're your own worst kind of nightmare with it, because if that special player that was better than the one that you thought deserved to progress through more so, I could come bite you on the bum, because what if that player signs for a club that rivals yours and does a madness? Do you know what I mean? No, for real, because it's definitely happened plenty of times, numerous times. Like, believe it or believe it not, Angelina, my club, Chelsea FC, had Kevin De Bruyne and Mo Salah and Romelu Lukaku. I know. Zoom into her face at that. Why? Now look. Thank you, Jose, for selling them. Not
That's
salty.
crazy. That just shows, though, like, I've been rejected in the past, and I'm sure a lot of players have been rejected. Like, look at De Bruyne. Like, he's next level.
He's different.
Like, the outside of the boot. I try and be like De Bruyne as well. He's a player I've got a lot of.
Do you remember his free kick under the wall?
No.
Have you not seen it? Oh, this guy, man. Who takes a free kick preempting that the wall's going to jump? Only De Bruyne. That's why people lie down now. I think it was because of that free kick. That's why people lie down behind the wall.
Oh, because of De Bruyne?
Yeah. For real, because he literally just fizzed it underneath the wall, timed it perfectly with their jump. Think about all of the different things that could go wrong.
That's crazy.
Because if he gets that wrong, it could just go to like one of the players in the wall's feet, and then they're away on the counter attack. But yeah, Giza just slotted it under and said thank you very much. Honestly,
but like, if De Bruyne can get rejected, then anyone can, kind of things. And just, you got to keep going. And then look, like, got into Man City and doing so well there.
Exactly, that's a great message. I think rejection is so common in football, and it's important that you kind of be appreciative of the experience instead of focusing on the rejection, isn't it? Because I remember there's a season, it was under 16, so when I was trialling to get into an under 6 team, I apologise. An under 16s team, when I was trying to get into an under 16s team, I literally trialled for, I think it was 20 teams, 20 RTC teams, yeah. And I must have done, honestly, I did over 40 trials, and you literally, a lot of them are back to back, and a lot of them have 3 phases, right? So you could get called for a second phase for this one, you could get to a third phase for some. I literally was flat out, and out of them 20 teams, I got offered 2. But I got to final stages of a lot of them, but out of all of those teams, I got offered 2.
Lucky you done 20 then.
Exactly, but your mentality, like the mentality of that should be, okay, I've been offered the 2, like, fantastic. Yeah. I've managed to get 38 training sessions with different coaches, getting exposure, playing with different players, picking up different skills. It should never be, when you're in trials, obviously you apply yourself at the time because you don't know what the outcome's going to be. But after it, if the rejection happens, there's no point in dwelling on it, because what's that going to do? Right, how's that going to help? Focus on just putting your all into the training session, learn as much as you can, and then move on. Literally move on. You know, I could have done them 2 trials, the 2 I got offered, just them 2. And if I got offered them both, you know, some people could take that as, oh, I could have trialled for anybody. Yeah. I could have trialled for anybody and got in. Look at me go. You know, and that is a reality for a lot of players, you know, like, it happens. But then when they do get that rejection, and it could be later on, it slaps them down. I've seen people break, and it's like,
trying to get used to it, because it's like, when the KFC man, didn't he like try like 100 times, or he tried like 100
the KFC man?
The one who created KFC got like 100 rejections until he actually made it, or he failed 100 times to then actually making it. And he made it really old as well. He made it like 16.
Oh, the Colonel. Man like Colonel, yeah. Supplying me. I'm actually having a KFC in a minute, you know. I can't lie. have not had it in a minute, but yeah, it applies in any kind of industry, like, and that is a good thing with football. I would say I have no regrets of being into football because it taught me a lot of life lessons just in general, and I'm glad I had it. It wasn't a distraction because it was my passion, but I'm glad I had it as my passion kind of growing up through my childhood. Like, that was my focus, because I could have been, you know, you can get influenced by people at school, you can get, you know, I was lucky at school, to be fair. My friendship group were like really good, all, you know, kind of, they understood me and like what I was trying to do, and there was never that kind of, they weren't into football at all, but there was never that kind of, they wouldn't exclude me just because of that, which I've always been thankful for. But I think football is a good kind of reality check as you're growing up as to like how life can be in general.
Keeps you on a good path though, keeps you to loving something good, because normally you go and love partying, drinking, like even drugs. And like if you've got like love for football, like you just kind of get high off it, don't you?
No, honestly, word.
You do. Like
word.
Winning, you are on a next level.
Yeah.
Especially if it's a big game or a last minute. Like,
do you have? Obviously, you've only been at MK Dons for like a season, but do you have that game of the season that you just want to win, home and away? Is there that specific team? Do you know what? If you want me to bleep the name, I can. But is there that specific team? Because I know, obviously, when we were at Birmingham, it was just automatically Aston Villa. Like, that game was... But actually, low-key, yeah, Liverpool and Everton, they were quite juicy games as well. Everton more so, when we played in that stadium, like the Vikings stadium. Yeah. That got juicy! That should be uploaded to YouTube, because that is entertainment at its finest. Yeah, there was pushes... But we do not condone that behaviour on the pitch. Always mirror yourself. Nah. I'll tell you after, because she actually might watch this and she knows who she is. But yeah, that was a madness, that game. But do you find that you enjoy them games more?
Yeah.
Are you like, okay, cool, we're the same type of player. Like, definitely. Give me some beef. I would rather have a juicy, obviously results do matter, but I'd rather have like a juicy, I'm talking craziness every 5 minutes, 2-2 draw, than win like 10-0.
But then Villa, like, they can get your head. I remember the ref was like facing the other way, and someone like pushed me over and went dirty rat while I was on the floor. I was gonna say who, and I just thought, and I targeted her all game. I was like, it took me off distraction of thinking I want to win rather than I just want to get her. But yeah, that's dirty. I'm not a dirty player at all. Like, I'd rather just go in for a tackle rather than doing stuff behind the refs. But
yeah,
I think
for sure.
I just don't like that. But then obviously, whatever happens on the pitch, you got to shake hands at the end. You can't.
100%.
Like, I'm never like someone to like be horrible after you got to shake.
No, and that does happen, doesn't it? You do get people that just walk away. But, you know, especially at academy level, obviously it's great to get to cup finals and whatnot. But I'd definitely say, and it's good to win the leagues and stuff as well, but it is like, you have to make sure that you're G-checking yourself on and off the pitch, making sure that everything you do is to the highest standard, as as much as you can do. So it is shaking hands, making sure you're shaking hands with the coaches, opposition coaches, the refs, because you never know where these people are going to end up as well. And it is important to keep them standards high.
Like, even seeing when Man U beat us in the cup final, obviously how low we were, even just looking at them celebrate, like having respect, thinking they've put a lot of hard work into
they
this.
earn it.
If it was us, like, I've just got to respect them.
100%.
But luckily we actually won a county cup, and I remember going back to that thinking, I really wish I could be holding that cup, and then just holding that cup I was like...
What, you won a county cup this season? Yeah. Oh, congratulations! Congratulations, really Team good. MK.
But
nice.
Holding a cup is a big thing, and it only comes once, so you've got to respect someone if they beat you in it. But yeah. And
your time will come. Do you know what I mean? If you put the work in, like, obviously the time doesn't come for everybody, but, you know, if you put yourself in the best position possible for it to happen like you have, your time will come. And it is good to have that success for sure. No, that is fantastic. Wow. Talking about success... Little segue. We have the Women's World Cup coming up, and I know you haven't been watching football as much as you should have, but none of these games have happened yet, luckily. So we're just going to do a little World Cup, little predictions of each group. I don't know how much you know about the teams. I don't know much about a lot of them. Because there's actually a lot of teams making their World Cup debuts, which is quite exciting. But obviously, England are going into it unbeaten under Serena, so...
Come on.
Subtle flex, but okay. Do you know? So it's good for us. But it's obviously been held in Australia and New Zealand, so sleep schedule is going to be patterned for a month, but we move. We're going to be having to get up at 4am, but do you know what? It'll be worth it. Is there any teams... Are you just supporting England?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Just England.
I'm lucky I've got 3 of my home nations. So I've got England, Ireland and Jamaica all in the World Cup this year. So my sleep schedule...
If you had to pick a winner.
You can't be putting me on the spot like that. I've been supporting England for longer because the Jamaican women's team wasn't actually formed for... Well, you know, it wasn't doing how it should be, like where it is now, for a while. So I've actually been supporting England for longer. Obviously the Irish, like, it's been such a good story for them as well. Oh, you put me on the spot here. Who is my... If I had to pick... Oh, this is juicy, you know. This is actually juicy. I've got to go with England because I have been supporting them for longer. And what unloyal fan would I be if I wasn't to do that? But Jamaica... If you want to work with me, I'm here. I'm here every day of the week. I have all of your kits. Your kits are stunning. The Adidas kits have smashed it this year, by the way. Absolutely smashed it, the away kits. If you haven't seen them, there goes the mic again. If you haven't seen them, go and look at them. And like, that is just to anybody. Like, they have absolutely smashed it. I might have to cop the Japan one, literally like a pink sunset. That's how I can describe it. You would love it because I know you love a sunset. She loves a sunset pic, as do many people. But anyway, I keep going off topic. So in Group A, we have... We can just quick fire this. We'll just say the top, like, who wins the group and who goes through. So first and second of the group. So Group A, we've got New Zealand, Norway, the Philippines and Switzerland. Pretty interesting group. Actually, do you know what? No, that is a bit of a juicy group when you deep it, because New Zealand have some great players and also a really beautiful kit too. The black one is just giving. I need to get off this kit hype. Norway, strong. Very strong. I don't know much about the Philippines, but Switzerland are also very strong. And Switzerland have been recently drawn to host the 2025 Euros, I want to say. So that might be nice to go to, you know. I feel like Switzerland, I don't know. I don't know much about Switzerland as a country. But yeah, what we saying? Personally, I think Norway might win that group.
I'll say Switzerland.
Switzerland, it's a good shout. With people like Leah Walty and that, tough. Yeah, I would say Norway and Switzerland to go through. Maybe let's not do first and second because that just is too much. It's a lot. Group B. Oh, okay. This is a crunchy group. Group B: Australia, Republic of Ireland, Nigeria, and Canada.
Wait, say that again. Sorry.
Australia, Ireland, Nigeria, and Canada. I want to see Nigeria do well, but Australia,
the sound card. She's
bro.
Class. She's different level. I've seen her play and she's class.
Literally.
And she don't even look like she's tried.
They've got Steph Catley from Arsenal as well. Strong team. Yeah, and it's their home, like, Nations Cup, so they're going to have that extra bit of oomph, aren't they? Just like we did for the Euros, winning it on Wembley turf, like... Wallop.
What about Canada?
Canada are a very good team as well. Very good team. It's difficult. I want to see Nigeria and Ireland do well, but if I'm going to have to be really realistic, Ireland could shock you. Anybody with
island?
Katie McCabe, it's Republic of Ireland, so it's like Katie McCabe, Courtney Brosnan, like anybody. Oh no, I'm gonna go with Australia and Canada to go through. I think that one. Group C: Spain, Costa Rica. What is wrong with it? Oh my god! Look at the pixels on that. I literally can't see that. Costa Rica.
Zambia.
Love that from you. Zambia and Japan. Spain and Japan. Japan are unbelievable.
Yeah, but who out of them two, Japan and Spain, who's first?
Oh no.
Spain
I
are
really want to
ridiculous,
see
though.
Japan win that group.
They're next level.
No, for real. Nah, for real. I would probably say, yeah, Spain and Japan. Spain to win the group. But Japan can never write them off. Trust me. And here we are. Oh, this is gonna... In England's group, basically we've got Denmark and China. England are just going to win that group, aren't they? Let's be honest.
So, England, Denmark, China.
And I don't have a clue. It says, I think it... Sorry, guys, I've got a terrible... I don't even know what that says. I've got... Do you know what? Skip. England are winning Group D. Enough said. Done no.
England, mate. Is it England who? Who's the rest?
England and Denmark and China.
Yeah, England.
England and
Is
Denmark.
China good? Korea weren't that good, to be honest, but...
No, they got absolute... Was it them that got absolutely demoralised by USA?
Oh no, they got demoralised by England.
Oh, by England as well, yeah.
It was 4-1.
Oh, long day. Yeah, I remember, yeah. Moving on to Group E. We've got USA, Vietnam, Netherlands and Portugal.
I've never heard much about Portugal women.
No, neither have I, actually.
I just thought, like,
when you deep it, like, that's what I mean. There's a lot of teams that are, like, coming in as, like, maybe dark horses that we have no idea about, really. Obviously, you know, people who are educated fully in the game might have a better understanding. Netherlands, yeah. I don't think she'll be playing because of her ACL. Did her ACL.
And then, what's the, is it Van
der Dog. Yeah. No, and she's too funny. Daniela Van der Dog. No, Netherlands have a strong team, like, fully strong. Obviously, they got to the World Cup final last time against the USA, so...
Netherlands, who was the other one? Is it?
USA, Vietnam and Portugal.
So, Netherlands and USA, who did you say?
Oh, USA. I do still think USA... USA are probably still the best team in the world. Being brutally honest.
Their fitness just
just everything. Just everything about the US team. Ooh, Group F. Hold your horses, ladies and gents. Hold your horses. There's going to be beef in the streets. We've got France, Jamaica, Brazil and Panama. Ooh! And France, a few of their players aren't playing because they're boycotting due to politics reasons. I won't go into them. Partly because I don't know the full story, but I know it's pretty, you know, a madness. But France, Jamaica, Brazil and Panama. Brazil, to be honest, first half against England in the Finalissima wasn't great. Second half, unbelievable from there. I want to see Jamaica do well, and we've got Bunny Shaw. We have... probably the best striker in the WSL at the moment. I'm going to go for the upset. Jamaica and Brazil. Brazil to win the group, Jamaica comes second. The upset's on France. I'm actually going to say that with my full chest. If I look stupid, it is what it is, not the first time. So
you've got to have faith.
Exactly. Come on, the reggae girls. So 2 more groups. Group G, Sweden... South Africa, Italy, Argentina. Sweden will go through, they're strong. They got to the semi-finals of the World Cup last time. Don't know much about the other teams.
Who was it?
South Africa, Italy and Argentina.
Italy women?
Yeah.
Argentina women. Why is it literally like USA, Spain, Germany, England? Like
I feel like this is the thing with with the women's game. Like, it has just been the same teams for, like, so long, so it's so good to see other teams coming through. I genuinely don't... Do you know what? I'm just going to stab in the dark. Ip dip sky blue. Italy go through. Wow. Group H, last group. Germany, Morocco, Colombia and Korea. Well, I think Germany's a pretty obvious shout.
I swear, I remember just looking back to the World Cup... No, not World Cup. Euros final. Their, like, best player couldn't play, could she? I can't remember her name. She got injured just before.
Oh, I don't know. Was it Alexandra Pop?
Yeah.
She's the one. Yeah, she just crazy
class,
scenes.
but she didn't play that game, did she?
No, she didn't. Yes. I know. Yeah, I think it was Pop. She might have come on, but But I don't think, yeah, she didn't start, or she got injured in the warm-up or something like that.
Yeah.
I remember that. Yeah, I'm going to say Germany and Colombia? Just because their kit's nice again, you know what I'm saying? Just, yeah. That's what we're going off of, guys. That's the brain cells you're having still with.
When does it start? Do you know?
It's got to be June, innit? Got to be summer.
How weird was the Men's World Cup this?
Right, let's go for
That
it.
was...
First of all, it was weird, yeah. I'm sitting with a mince pie and I'm watching the World Cup.
Mince pie?
Yeah. I'm sitting there with my Bailey's hot chocolate watching Harry Kane slap it top bins. What am I doing? And it wasn't match of the day.
It was literally just like, why is it snowing outside? And I think the World Cup comes with summer.
Yes, I agree.
They like come together.
Yeah.
This just felt
I
really
agree.
weird.
I 100% agree with you. Obviously, for the players' safety and everything, with like the heat of Qatar, it made sense. But it definitely didn't feel right. I got used to it. Like once the games were flowing, I got used to it. I got into the routine of getting up, breakfast, watch all 3 games. Or, bro, I'm beefing with this mic today. Yeah, but it was weird, wasn't it?
It was so weird.
It was so weird.
Yeah, didn't seem to me.
No, but England are exciting though. We're
Well,
underachieving.
Was it the first game, but they won like 6-1?
Yeah, like we're smashing it. Obviously, devastation occurred. I haven't really had my hopes up for England since the Euros final loss. I've never been so gutted. Honestly, worse heartbreak than breaking up with my first boyfriend. Honestly, hand on heart, I didn't speak for like a week after we lost against Italy that time. Oh my gosh, I just couldn't. When Luke Shaw banged it in 3-4 minutes,
mate, I celebrated.
I was like, we're winning.
Yeah, I celebrated.
We've done it. We've done it. No, that was heartbreak. I remember, I cried. I did cry. I think I did shed a tear.
And then the women come, and then
the women come and do the job on Wembley, because that was the gutting thing about the men's. Yeah, it was at Wembley, and I remember I had an England colleges game that day, and we played MK Dons, which is quite random.
Well, your college team?
Yeah, no, England colleges.
I was going to say, because our manager is assistant manager for that.
Oh.
And they've been going to Italy and different
yeah,
countries.
Yeah.
I remember I was like, Lauren used to do that.
Yeah, no, that was a really good little... That was probably one of the best team, if not the best team I've played in. It was unbelievable.
How does it work? Like, do you have to be a certain age, or like what? How,
yeah,
I don't really understand.
You have to be like college age, so you only have 2 years to do it. Really.
Oh, really?
And the first college I was at, they wanted to give as many people the opportunity as possible, so they only let second years do it. But then obviously I moved to Solihull for Birmingham, and I was the upper age group at that point, and they put me forward, which was good.
And did you get to travel like other places?
It was COVID, so my year we didn't. We just played friendlies, but the team we had was ridiculous. Like I think a few of the players are in the championship now.
Oh, really?
Like honestly, I wish we had more games together because it was just unbelievable, that team.
And what was the facilities like? Did you play anywhere?
Obviously, you train at St George's Park. You get
Really?
given the kit. Yeah,
Really?
yeah, England colleges train. Yeah.
That's great. And did they scout you or?
No, you have to do trials with them. So they do regional trials because obviously it's England colleges, so they have to go to every region of the country. I must have done a Midlands one of some sort because obviously I was in Birmingham at the time. So yeah, and then you're obviously there representing your college, and then they just pick all the best players across England colleges, quite literally.
That's crazy.
But yeah, like we were lucky. Like our year was just crazy scenes. But anyway, back to the England game. Yeah, we were watching. We played MK Dons, and I was back on the train home from Milton Keynes, obviously back to Birmingham because I was watching the game. We'd plan a watch-along game kind of thing, which made it even worse because we made it like a big event and then we lose like that. Oh my god, just heartbreak. But the train, like even the atmosphere on the train from Milton Keynes to Birmingham was ridiculous.
What was this one?
This was when the World Cup final was...
Oh.
Euros final, men's Euros final was happening. Even going from Milton Keynes to Birmingham, there was scenes. Oh,
how everyone
so
was just like...
everybody was buzzing.
What?
This was like in build up to the game.
I've been after.
Oh
like,
no!
I don't want to be on that train.
I'm just so depressed during the Euros final. There's so much better things that can happen. No, it was honestly unbelievable. And then to lose like that, honestly, yeah, heartbroken. So when the World Cup came around, I was more focused on my Baileys and hot chocolate and my mince pies and all of that to drown my sorrows away.
Yeah,
but it's so good to see, obviously, players like Ronaldo and Mbappe playing against Luke Shaw.
It's like dream teams just playing against each other.
Yeah, it's all of your favourite players in one tournament. Like, yeah, it is.
What about Argentina? What was it? Argentina, France.
Oh,
that was a joke. That was the best game of football I've ever watched.
Honestly, up there. The only game that kind of matches it for me recently was, I think this was in the Euros, was Portugal v Spain, the 3-3. Oh, I remember that game. I was like, what? What's the best game of football you've ever watched? Because I know what mine is.
That one. The fact that
really?
Mbappe scored a hat-trick and he didn't win. Yeah. Imagine saying, like, you've scored a hat-trick, but we lost.
That's probably one of the biggest L's you could ever take.
What else can I do? I'd be like, defenders.
It is funny. It is, honestly. And Morocco doing a madness as well. Like, how far, do you know how crazy that is? I was literally there like, yeah, I became a Morocco supporter for a hot minute. I was like, yes! The best game I've ever watched. Actually, I was revising for my GCSEs. I'm going to say games. I honestly did tear up again. And I'm not an emotional person, I promise. But these two games had me... they had me weak. And I was supposed to be revising for my GCSEs, but I had to stop. Barcelona v Liverpool Champions League. Tottenham Ajax Champions League on the same night. Give me a break. Obviously Liverpool coming back to beat Barcelona at Anfield. You know, corner taken quickly. Origi! Trent Alexander-Arnold with the absolute mad vision. That was a crazy night. And then Lucas Moura scoring last minute against Ajax. Honestly, if you watch them games, you'd understand. And I'm not even, you know, obviously... When obviously English teams get far in like Champions Leagues and stuff, you do kind of, I don't know, I guess you're kind of rooting for them. I guess
kind of have that, yeah.
Yeah, and I used to play for Spurs, so I've got that kind of like, you know, like, yeah, they do well. That came across really sarcastic, but I really didn't mean it like that. But so when that happened in the same night, I was literally like, what have I just witnessed? Honestly. Craziest games ever. But no, yeah, the Argentina-France game is a shout. That is a shout. But
yeah, it was like England's not in the final, but they done well enough, basically.
For real. No, for real. And obviously the next tournament is soon come. Obviously the qualifying's happening. I'm actually going to an England game in June. Yeah, because I've never been to Old Trafford before. Because I have this thing, where I want to go to as many football stadiums as possible, like the bigger ones. That's why I just go. Like I've been going to the Emirates a lot recently to watch Arsenal women. I haven't done Tottenham Hotspur Stadium yet, the new one. I did Old White Hart Lane, but I haven't done the new build. It looks. I want to experience a full atmosphere there because. White Hart Lane, the atmosphere's good. Obviously, I've done West Ham. I want to do... I'm going to do Camp Nou soon, because... Barcelona.
That's what I was about to say. Have you seen how, like...
Honestly, I'm going at the end of this month, because Lauren gets spontaneous... So I went on holiday recently, and when you come back from holiday, the first thing you think about is going back on holiday again, right? And you do. And I literally, no word of a lie, I got back and booked a little holiday the day after. So I'm going to go to, and I like to go on holiday sometimes for a reason. Like, obviously, it's good to have, like, relaxing holidays where you just switch off. But I like to go for a reason. So I'm going to watch Barcelona versus Chelsea women, second leg of the Champions League. Yeah, so I'm going for a couple of days. Hopefully the weather treats me nicely.
That's a joke, that stadium.
Yeah. Have you been before?
Real. No, I've seen pictures, don't look real.
Yeah.
Like,
for real, it just...
You have to come to MK Stadium.
I'm going to pull up at one point, I promise. I'll pull up. You never know when it might be. You might just hear me.
We've got 3 more games in the stadium left this season. So.
Okay, say no more. I'll actually have a look. Why not? Actually, why not? Because I know a few of the other players as well. Yeah, actually, why not?
Oh, do you know MK players?
Yeah, Tally. I used to be centre back here.
Oh yeah, the college.
Come on now, hopefully she doesn't mind us.
I've seen her like on your picture. I was like, oh, Tally.
This football world is so small, honestly. I know
Tally.
Sophia as well.
I
used to play centre back pairing at Tottenham.
She's class.
Yeah, that's
a solid centre back.
So literally, this football world is tiny.
Wait, where did you play that? At Tottenham?
Yeah. Tiny world, honestly. What was we even talking about? I can't remember. I was just. This is my issue. I just start going on tangents, and I'm like,
England.
Well, anyway, hopefully we haven't left any cliffhangers. But to be honest, all is said and done. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you enjoy. And at the end of every podcast I do, I ask the guests. Sorry to put you on the spot. If you could give. Oh wait, I'm terribly sorry. I've got some quickfire questions for you. This might test your ball knowledge a little bit, but we'll start off nicely. So, would you rather have a season ticket for the club you support or your country? Obviously, you can't have a season ticket for your country, but just imagine in an idyllic world you could. What would you rather have a season ticket for? Bear in mind, obviously, your club, you're probably going to see more games.
What is it, MK Dons?
No, like, so the club you support, so for me it would be Chelsea, and the country, for example, England. What would you rather, like, have a season ticket to?
It's 14, do I?
Girl, just pretend.
Obviously England.
You do okay. So you would take fewer games, but to support your country.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that.
England's like I'd have so much passion for England.
Love that. So another one. If you could play under any manager, past or present, who would it be? And this is any manager. I'm talking. You can literally say Pep Guardiola if you want to.
Steven Gerrard.
Steven Gerrard. For real?
Yeah.
Why?
I was like a big Steven. That's where I get slide talks from. Like
mental
passion. I can see his passion. And when he went, because we were at Birmingham, when he went to Villa, I was like, oh,
pain.
I seen him and Carla take a picture together. I was like, oh, I wish I was taking a picture of him.
Oh,
yeah, I'd love him. I just feel like he'd give me so much passion. I love passionate managers, and at MK we've got passionate managers, which is really
so
good.
important. As
that
we've
passion
said.
drives you to want to do
it does.
more. Like even just a half-time talk, even individually, someone will come up to you say, "Come on, you've got this in your." Yeah, but I love my manager now.
Oh no, that's good.
I love him. He's helped me so much in my game. So Charlie, MK.
Jeez! No, it's so
Ethan.
important. Honestly, all of you good coaches out there, we do appreciate you. It's not spoken about enough, but sometimes you do take a good coach for granted. But when you do come across one, especially when you get to an older age where you can really appreciate the work that they're doing, because obviously, as a youngster, you might not see everything behind the scenes, but obviously, coming up to senior ranks, there's not that much to hide as a coach, really. Yeah, it's good to show appreciation towards your coaches, so yeah. But at the end of every episode, I always ask my guest if you could give some kind of good advice or like, I don't know, a quote that you take with you maybe every day for anything, what would it be?
My one, I always like to say, like, you hold the pen to your story, just because I feel like you are in control, and kind of, I think hanging around with people is a big thing. Like, if you're going to hang around with, like, the wrong people, you're going to end up doing bad stuff. So I think just surround yourself with good people and people who are trying to kind of do a similar thing or trying to do well, and just bounce off each other and just, like, hang around with good energy. And, like, yeah, never giving up, because if you give up, then, like, on anything, it could be football, it could be your passion, it could be anything. It just feels like I'd rather feel like I've tried and than, like, guilt. So I'd rather just think, oh yeah, at least I've tried, and then not make it. But obviously I think I'm going to make it, than thinking, oh, well, I didn't even try. So
that's really good advice. That is really nice. I hope, that helps somebody, it could help somebody. It could have helped little Ange, you know what I mean? That's it. That's what it's all about. Always follow your dreams, because honestly, so there's not a ceiling on a lot of things, even though seemingly there might be. But Well, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Hope you enjoyed it. Yeah.
I love the room.
And thank you guys. Oh, honestly, you can't even see this room. I wish I could just pan. It's so cute. So this will be the base of this podcast for probably the foreseeable. Because it's just a nice little pad, isn't it? But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. Get ready for a new episode coming out soon. But until next time, goodbye. This is going to be like a PS. On the way here, I need to put my phone down. I don't know if you've noticed the stains on my trousers. So, routinely, every time I come to London, I pick up a Starbucks white mocha because, like to start your day off well.
What's that?
Love a white mocha.
Oh, white chocolate mocha.
Yeah, basically, that's what it is. Have you never had a white mocha before?
I'm gonna get.
I'm gonna get it. Oh, it's so and iced as well, really nice. And if you add, have you not seen it on TikTok? The trend, like if you add the hazelnut syrup to the iced one, it tastes like Bueno. Honestly, once you have a white mocha, you will not have anything else. Trust me. But anyway, I'm on the Central Line, and obviously my bag's a holdall, so I have it like this. And I couldn't sit down on Central Line because it was, all of the seats were full, and there was a few people standing around me. So I'm holding on to like the pole behind me, and I have my drink in this hand with my bag here. And I'm not joking you. My bag falls into like my elbow crease here, and my drink just spills everywhere. And I've literally had 2 sips of it on the Central Line. Honestly, I wanted to be deleted at that point. I was like, nah.
Wait, was there people around you?
Bare people. Everybody saw it. The whole carriage saw it, and there was just a pool of because as it fell, I'm just looking at it like that moment where you just pause, and if maybe I could have caught the cup earlier, some of the liquid could have stayed in. No, this whole thing emptied. So there's me with a tiny pack of tissues, the multi-pack tissues. That's all I've got, and I'm just there and they're doing nothing. But luckily, there was 2 amazing women on the tube at the time, and they passed me as well, like a little pack. But at this point, I've missed the stop that I wanted to get off at get onto the Piccadilly line. But I'm like, I have to clean at least some of this up, otherwise I'll just look like a. That's not me, like I don't want to have people swimming in my white mocha. There was a girl with Yeezys as well, literally stood there. I was like, I just really want to.
So you've not only lost your coffee, you've
lost
got
my
on the wrong
coffee.
train.
Well, no, I was on the right train, but I had to miss my
off.
stop and then come back and then do them. It's just long. So I'm there, literally on my knees, wearing beige trousers as well. The one day where I don't wear black trousers, I smell of coffee a little bit. But luckily I had baby wipes, so I was able to clean like the worst of it off at the time. But I do have little splats on my leg, but. Honestly, chaotic.
When you said I wanted to be deleted.
I literally was like, delete me. You've got me.
Delete me.
You've got me. You got me good. You got me good. Because my hair as well is long. It's bum length. If you understand braids, long day. Everything, you have to be so careful. So I'm literally on my knees and my hair's just like swooshing it. I'm like, I want...
I've never heard that before.
Honestly, I'm just like, why?
That feeling though when you're like...
It's not even 9:30 and I've spilt my coffee on the Central Line. Why? Why me? And then the train goes, and then it all just gradually... Obviously, as the train's moving that way, the coffee's going that way. I'm just like, guys! Nobody helped me clean it. But obviously, I wouldn't expect anybody to help me clean it, but there were some lovely women who did give me their packs of tissues to help kind of... Because I was literally like... soaking it up, putting it in the cup because my cup was empty, evidently. And just even more annoying, there wasn't even anything left at the bottom. Not that I would have drunk it, but the best part of a white mocha is the bottom because that's where the syrup is. Pain, so I might have to just go and buy another white mocha.
I'm definitely going to get the hazelnut one. So you just get white mocha iced with hazelnut?
Yeah, ask for a pump of hazelnut syrup. Unbelievable scenes.